Alright, so for those who don't know my testimony, I grew up in church. In the beginning of elementary school, grew up in church, all that fun stuff. I was on fire for the Lord. And then it was either in the beginning or in the middle of 4th grade where my dad told me and my sister that him and my mom wanted to separate. Hit me very hard. And as a young kid, it was, whenever you hear something like that, like it just absolutely destroys you. And at the time, I still couldn't read, write, talk. And so it mentally messed me up really bad. And so after I heard that from my dad, I turned away from God, telling him that I hated him, wanted nothing to do with him, fully turned my back on him. And going into middle school, it didn't get any better. Like, after I just said all of that, that's when anxiety really started hitting me. Grew up, like, continued going through 4th grade and 5th grade with all that anxiety, turned to depression in middle school. It just got so bad. And I always went to, like, the FCAs during every Friday at church, or not at church, at school. But I always said that I never believed in God. Like, I always said I did. I was of God, but I actually wasn't. To the point where, like, I had to fake, like, being of God because I didn't want other people to judge me, even though I had to say their mouth, all that stuff. But I was still fighting anxiety and depression. And it wasn't until, I want to say, 8th grade when Cade invited me to church. And I really found my Heavenly Father through that. Like, that night, I felt God really speak to me. And He's like, look, even though that your Father down here on earth may be hours away from you, I'm always right by your side. And so that really, like, brought me back, like, trying to really, like, go for the Lord and open up my hearting. And so, like, I was still fighting anxiety and depression still. Like, I'm like, oh God, you just told me that you're always for me, so why am I still struggling with all of this? It ended up turning into suicidal thoughts, to the point where I wanted to fully end everything. Like, there's times where I showed up to church, hood up, music in my, like, headphones in. Like, I know some of y'all saw that. Like, I had my headphones in because of, I was scared of hearing those thoughts again. Like, I was struggling with those thoughts even at church. Like, I thought I was always an outsider because of I knew nothing better than what I was told. Growing up, we were all told that men shouldn't cry or shouldn't have feelings. They should always be, like, okay. Well, at that time, I was not okay. And so, growing up through that, and then there's one night where I really wanted to take my life.
I couldn't hear you.
There's, but there's
at least let us get to Corinthians first. Sorry.
But there's a night where I really actually wanted to take my life. Like, wanted to end it all. Like, I was sleeping in my game room because all my knives and stuff were in my room. Like, I didn't sleep in my own room because I was scared I was. Like, even when I was younger, like, I didn't know that I was trying to, like, take my life, but, like, I would, like, grab a blanket, wrap it around my neck, try to pull all that stuff because of, I knew nothing better. Because that's how my first reaction was as a child. Even though I grew up from that and just started getting quiet, it still didn't make it any better. And so I got so quiet where I wanted to take my own life. I didn't talk to anybody about it. And there's this one day where I finally talked to, where I was actually, it was, yeah, with Chad when he asked about the suicidal thoughts and stuff. And me and one of my brothers raised our hands. It was me and him were struggling. But I still, even after that, I still had those suicidal thoughts. Like, I told PC that I would tell my mom. I didn't tell my mom until weeks later. Like I lied to PC for so long, saying, "Oh yeah, I told my mom." Never did because I was scared. And like when I finally told my mom, it was during an argument, and that was the night where I really wanted to end it all because she was threatening to take me to the mental hospital. Like I thought I was about to get put into one, right? And so that night I almost committed or started cutting. No, could have led up to the point where I was going to commit. I don't know, but by the grace of God, He came to me that night and He said, "Son, why are you like?" He literally came down, like He spoke to me, and I wasn't expecting it. It was like I was in tears. I'm like, God, why are you doing this? Because I would always pray to God, like, Lord, if you're real, why are you letting me go through this? Like, why are you letting me go through this pain? Like, why are you making me suffer? Like, what have I done wrong? And that night, I'm like, Lord, look, if you are real, then speak to me, or else I'm gonna do some bad stuff to myself. And that night, He came down and spoke to me, and He really saved me that night. Like the night that I was going to end it all, He came down and saved my life. And so after that, I was still on the medications that I was originally on, the anxiety and depression meds, and of course I'm on my ADHD meds because that's helps me stay focused. But I was still on those anxiety and depression meds. Like I was still struggling bad. Like I don't want to hear those thoughts anymore. So I just decided to keep on going with those medication, and I changed medication because that's what really brought out those thoughts even more. And so I finally changed medication, and I was still having the anxiety and depression. Like I would still walk around all scared and stuff. And to the point where I'm like, you know what, I need to restart. So that's why I bleached my hair. That's the main background of that. I did not want to be associated with my old self because my old self was so bad. Like I wanted to kill myself. I had anxiety, depression. I went from girl to girl to girl to girl. Like it was so bad where I'm like, no, I need a new start. So that's one of the main reasons why I bleached. But I still was on those anxiety and depression meds for a whole about another year until recently at the spring retreat where I was asking God to show me that 2% that I was missing because they asked, what was the 2% that you're missing? And I'm like, God, why do I still feel like something is missing? What is that 2%? Like I felt like I went all in, but I never did because of that night. Whenever we're in worship, He was like, my child, and I saw Jesus on the cross, like his hands and feet. I saw his feet on the bottom, at the feet of the cross, nailed in. And I heard, my son, you're still holding on to something because it feels natural to you. You keep on running back to it because how natural it feels. And so, and he was saying that it was since I was on the medication still, because I kept on running back to that. Like I kept on running back to it because I didn't know anything better. And so I finally was like, Lord, take it away from me. Like I do not want this pain anymore because I cannot keep on struggling. Like there's so many times where I've been questioning my faith because of the anxiety and depression. And and the reason why I was questioning my faith because of the anxiety and depression was because of it was just holding me back from actually being happy, because of the medications. It was just holding me back from truly being happy, being myself. And so that night, whenever I finally asked God to take it away, the anxiety and depression away, He finally spoke to me to the point, and He told me to just leave it at my feet, leave at the feet of the cross. And I could physically see the cross, I was sitting at the feet of the cross. I saw his feet nailed into the bottom of it, and that's when I heard him say it. And like, I finally decided to give it to him, like, set it there, and because I'm always trying to pick it back up, like how a lot of men do. We try to pick our own things back up after we're like, you know what, I'm done with trying to work with this. We try to pick it back up and make it better to ourselves, but I couldn't do it all myself anymore. I finally decided to give it to Jesus, and he was like, once you leave it there, never touch it again. Leave it at my feet and never pick it up. Run as far away you can from it, and let me win this battle for you, because I've already won it. Like, he was telling me about how I shouldn't be afraid anymore of this battle. It was Joshua 1:9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be discouraged nor afraid, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. And I've always held on to that one verse, but I've never, like, recently I've been, or at that time, I forgot about that verse because of, I was just so held captive from the anxiety and depression. Like, I just felt like I was in a stronghold. Like, I was just, like, I couldn't do anything about it. And so, after that day, after that night, actually, I was able to stop taking those anxiety and depression meds because I no longer heard those voices in my head. And I didn't have to, like, worry about having to wake up the next morning and was like, am I going to have these thoughts again? Am I going to be all stressed again? But after that, I was able to stop the medication because the love of God, he has saved me. And after that day, I've been just so much happier. Like, I haven't felt this much joy in so long. The last time I had this much joy is when I was younger. And now my heart has just been on fire for the Lord. Like, I've been able to cut out music that I don't need anymore. And, like, he's really just straight up saved me. Like, there's nothing I can't say about that. Like, he saved me. And so, like, it's just hard to explain. Like,
Love you, bro.
like, now I can take that next step to being able to really share my testimony now. That's why I'm doing it now, because of it can help out other people. Because of a lot of people don't know what I've been through, and they always think I've grown up this kind kid and stuff, like always been happy. But no, like, there's a lot of people who found out that, yeah, I was suicidal, and they're like, no, like, they thought I was lying because of I've never shared my testimony with them. Like, I've never, like, shown who I really was. But now I can show that Jesus has really saved me, like, because of the times are getting where everybody is going to get stressed out about everything. Like, it's summer, like, we don't know what to do anymore. That was all my summer. Like, the time where I really got suicidal was whenever I was in that summer. Like, that summer, like, I felt like nothing was going on, so all I could do was sit in my own head. Like, it was so bad. Like, but Jesus has really saved. Like, it is crazy how he works. Yeah. Like, even though that I thought that he would never, like, come after me because I straight up denied him and wanted nothing to do with him. I turned my back away from him. Like, I wanted nothing to do with him, but he still wanted every single piece of me. He left the 99 just to hunt me down. Because of, I went off the straight trying to do stuff on my own, not wanting anything to do with him, but he still saved me. Like, it is crazy how he works. And I know after I finally found God again, like, all of heaven rejoiced. Like, in the parable in the Bible, I think it's in Matthew, where he was like, where Jesus was talking about the shepherd, where he asked the shepherds about what would happen if one of their sheep went astray. Like, and one of the shepherds answered, well, I'll leave the rest of them while I went looking for the one. And he's like, that's exactly what the Messiah, or he was saying how that's what he was doing. Like, he left the 99 just for the one. And he asked what would happen after. Well, I'll throw him over my shoulder and we'll rejoice. And he said, there's the point. All of heaven will rejoice after one is found. There will be more rejoice and happiness after one is found over than many who say that they're righteous like that one is so much more important than the ones who say that they're righteous. Because you truly aren't righteous until you find Jesus. That's how you can truly find love. Like, once you can really find love in Jesus, like, there's a parable in John 15, I'm pretty sure, where it talks about, like, if you truly love one another, you would, like, I don't know how yet Jesus explained it, but in our sight, it would be like how we say we'd take a bullet for a brother. That's pretty much what it's saying there. And so, that's my testimony. It's time to make him pay for not taking me out when he had the chance. Like, it is, like, times are getting close to where he's returning. Like, we need to really lock in and be able to make him pay, because I know some of us, like, he could have taken out so early in our lives, but he didn't finish us off, so it is time to make him pay. So my question is, what's y'all's testimony?